What is CrossFit? It's not a horrible question, it's just a hard question to answer. The traditional definition of CrossFit is constantly varied functional movement done at high intensity. Functional movement means squatting, deadlifting, pushing, pulling, handstands. And then the high intensity aspect of it is relative to the individual. That is very, very different. People hear that and they think bad things, but it's relative to the individual and what their fitness level is and their interests. And then the constantly varied is the fact that we don't do squats every Monday and bench press every Tuesday. It's not a structured regime. So we program around energy systems and movements versus just body parts. And our training is different every single day, and that's what keeps it fun. That's what keeps it exciting. That's what keeps people motivated and inspired. Synergy Strength's original purpose and mission was to develop and create a healthier Saskatchewan. Now that's a big task, but that's what we're doing on a daily basis. It's about empowering people to do things they never thought possible before.
I grew up in rural Saskatchewan, St. Gregor, Saskatchewan, on a farm. Very small school. I guess when it came to physical activity and sport, we played every sport because if you didn't play, you didn't have a team. And then I eventually found CrossFit.
Lori Masinchuk is the reason that I am here. She actually welcomed me into a group that was talking about nutrition one spring. I started out CrossFit about 300 pounds and I've lost about 169 pounds. Nutrition is an absolutely fundamental key, and you don't have to be a CrossFit athlete to have figured that out. In order to look after our bodies, in order to energize our bodies, to keep ourselves safe, food is medicine. Food is not about comfort. It's not about, I feel bad about myself, so I'm gonna go grab some Burger King. It's not where we should be at this point. With all of the education that is available to us, food is medicine.
When I first walked into the gym, I remember Chad showing me around and he said, well, have you ever done a pull-up? I said, well, a long time ago. And he said, well, let's see if you can do one. And so I jumped up on the bar, couldn't do one, but there were all these people cheering behind me to get this pull-up. I didn't even know who they were.
There's nothing compared to the community in CrossFit, period. As a judge, as an athlete, as a participant, everybody that comes around, you almost want to be the last person on the floor. Everybody coming around you and encouraging you and telling you, don't you drop it, pick it up, don't stop, embrace the suck.
When you come to Synergy Strength, or honestly any CrossFit, you're gonna walk into a community of people who share a common goal and have similar interests. And I think that's one of the things that I find most interesting, is that we're surrounded by beautiful people. And when I mean beautiful, I mean inside. They're just phenomenal people. They're inspirational, motivational people. And they're people that we suffer with daily.
I grew up on a farm north of Prince Albert. I was an active kid. I played football, hockey, baseball, a little bit of everything to stay out of trouble. I was a Saskatchewan Husky football player. Graduated from there, and then after that, I started mixed martial arts. I became a professional fighter for a little bit, and then I actually started CrossFit to help with my conditioning with fighting, and then CrossFit became a little bit more, not necessarily more liked, but I realized there's significantly less chance of injury because not nearly as many people are punching me in the face while lifting weights. Usually I'd kind of do it to myself, so.
Stay on the cement path. Do not leave the cement path, okay? So if you get to the end and you somehow got lost, you did not stay on the path. You did not follow the one rule of the run. Stay on the path. Athletes, ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I got involved in fitness when I was about 14, 15. I had my dad's old weight set and started doing stuff in the basement, which was essentially bicep curls and bench press every single day. I didn't really know anything else, but I truly enjoyed the sport of bodybuilding and just understanding how the body moves and how we incorporate that into how we can change our bodies, and the way they look and the way they feel and the way they perform. That led me into university, where I went to U of S and graduated from the College of Kinesiology. And I always found that what I enjoyed with fitness was maybe a little bit different than what most people did. I enjoyed a lot of what I'll call odd objects or odd styles of training. I like carrying sandbags and dragging sleds. Now maybe that's my farm background, I don't know, but like throwing bales, that was fun. That eventually led me into CrossFit.
Well, this sport's been awesome for me. It's been a long journey, many years. Still just as fun and gets funner every year. I love it. Well, my sister's here competing as well, so that's fun. So we do lots of competitions together. My mom has done this competition once before in the Masters category too, so that was pretty cool.
So when you first start CrossFit, you have a lot to learn, right? There's many modalities, many things that we're doing, and you have to learn all of those. And as you do, which takes years, you start to move up the ranks in your strength, your fitness, your capabilities. So you move up into a different tier of athlete.
Oh, the learning curve is great, and I think that's one of the things that I love about CrossFit and at my age is that I'm still learning. You never really get there, and there's always someplace else to go, a little bit higher and more learning. So that's really important, our ongoing education.
Hey, how'd the run go?
It was good.
Good.
Good time? Yeah.
And how'd the run go for you?
That was all right, better than I thought it would. Yeah, finished top 10, I think, so not bad for a Masters athlete.
It was like Armageddon. Yeah. That's what it felt like. Yeah. It made it an adventure. It was awesome. Yeah.
It was good.
I thought it was like totally fine up until this last stretch here. And then all of a sudden, I saw like one of the girls coming beside me and I was like, oh, I should let them pass. And I was like, no, that's a muscle milk better. Go!
Last year we had one of our favorite members. She's 74 years old, and she always wanted to do a competition.
Like honestly, she is so fit. Last year she competed in our Voodoo Fitness Festival, and that I think is amazing that we were able to get her to that point for her to say, sure, I'll give this a try.
And people enjoyed seeing her there because it starts to show for everyone else that comes to spectate or even the other athletes that this sport truly is for everyone. At 74 years old, she was never an athlete. She wanted to compete in something. She's been doing her sport for 4 years, and we gave her the opportunity. There's nothing more beautiful than that.
So once again, ladies and gentlemen, 126 feet of handstand walking in at least 18-foot increments, followed by 3 rounds of yoke and ball carries.
The Voodoo Festival is one of the biggest competitions here in Saskatchewan. I know that people from out of province are coming this year, and I'm very excited about that. It's not just about local community, it's about all community coming together.
Originally it was the Prairie CrossFit Challenge, then it was the Bridge City Beatdown, and as we expand, it's now the Voodoo Fitness Festival. The original purpose of the competition was simply just to provide a competitive outlet to our athletes and to bring Saskatchewan together. Now we have 9 different divisions. We have age categories, we have a teen division, we have masters 40 to 49, we have 50 plus men and women, and then we have our elite athletes, which are athletes that are competing at a very high level, and then we have all the way down to beginners who have never competed before.
Hashtag Masters is starting on their way back. That yoke you definitely want to walk with short, choppy steps, fellas. But look at 2 fit dudes. He's just out for a stroll right now, with probably the second best mustache here after Brandon Buffton.
Part of my job is finding our volunteers, people who don't want to compete but would like to be involved in some way, so it's really great to bring them on board because they get to be right on the field watching the competition. And then the other thing is also asking people if they want to compete, because we do it in teams of 2 or 3, and sometimes people don't know who to ask. So my job is to actually pair them up with people to compete with.
If you ever get involved in the sport, compete. When you compete, you find out, I don't want to say what you're truly made of, but you learn so much that when you come back to training, you have a different perspective on everything you're doing, and you start to fill holes that you maybe didn't know were there before, or you did know, but you now need to spend some time on. And that's important. The athletes themselves recognize where they need to improve upon, and competition does that.
The really amazing thing is when you see somebody say, yes, I want to compete, and then they get together with their team. Well, they're in the gym a little earlier, or they're staying a little later, practicing a skill that they don't quite have because they think it might be coming up in the competition. But the other great thing is the friendships that happen amongst the team members is really cool to see them getting very comfortable with each other. And then when they come to the gym, to a class, they find each other and they love to work out together because they spent this time together.
Take a look at Team Voodoo here. That's Jeff Wu at 150 pounds. That is a National Olympic weightlifter as well, ladies and gentlemen. 3, 2, 1, time. Let's put it up. These boys are working hard. You have no idea how tough that yoke is, how tough that...
The goal of the competition is, one, to create awareness for our sports, so to create awareness of CrossFit and the things that we do at Synergy Strength. But also remember going back to our original mission, support a healthier Saskatchewan and support strength sports.
I would like people to understand that CrossFit is not frightening. It is not scary. You are not going to break your arm, break your leg, dislocate your rotator cuff. Those things don't really happen unless you don't have good form and you're not scaling to your true abilities. Be realistic with your goals. Be realistic with what you want to be, and then go forward. My goal this year is to get an unassisted chest to bar. That's my goal. I'm almost there, but if it wasn't for the coaches telling me how to scale that properly, how to get there, I could probably easily hurt myself, even just falling off the bar and twisting my ankle because I'm not paying attention to my capabilities.
I'm a firm believer in that the hardest part of any sort of gym program is actually staying motivated. And I strongly believe that CrossFit assists greatly with that.
We use the CrossFit name. We are CrossFit Saskatoon, but we are known as Synergy Strength. And the reason for that is that we are involved in weightlifting, powerlifting, strongman, kettlebell training. We have programs for Parkinson's patients, cancer survivors. We're going to be getting into MS training. We do programs for all different ages of youth, all the way down to 5 years old up to 18, involved in multiple different sports and multiple different implements and backgrounds. Now we also have the sports therapy clinic, which is attached to us, so that you have a full, basically a full complement of all things that you would ever need when it comes to health, wellness, and fitness.
It's about moving your body and having the courage just to walk in and move your body.
We really just encourage people to come and try a class out and experience what we know.
Just come, just try it. Get involved, and you'll start to understand what we're talking about. You'll start to understand that all the people around you are coming from all kinds of walks of life, different backgrounds, different, everything, but they still share some common goals in trying to better themselves. And that's what this place is. It gives you an opportunity to better yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually, however you want to look at it. It's a place of betterment.
If you have program ideas that you'd like to see on Max TV Local On Demand, write us at max.local@sastel.com.